What's going on? Today we're going over a 200-meter game plan. This is one of my favorite races. This is one of my best races. This game plan helped me run a 20.68, I believe is my best. So this game plan is going to be used by a lot of people as well. Okay, so to begin, obviously you're at your start. You're going to start staggered on the turn here, but the marks kind of remain the same depending upon your stagger. You just have to adjust it a little bit. So the first phase is going to be our drive phase. So from 0 to 70-ish meter, we have about a 95% acceleration drive phase here. We can be a bit more patient in our drive. You don't want to be crazy with it, but you can be a bit more patient in our drive phase than in the 100, which we discussed over our 100-meter game plan video. But still the same, 0 to 30, you want to be driving, 30 meters on up, you want to be up. And the way to approach the turn here is, I saw this great video with Noah Elias actually.
How am I going to stay in the middle of the lane? A lot of coaches will tell you to do this. Lean in to the track. That's not accurate. What you actually want to do is you want to turn your hips. So put your fingers where the ends of your hips are. These are your light beams if you're on a car. This is your light beams. And if you're leaning, your car is going to look like this. That's not helping. What you want is to gradually start turning your hips to match the lane's angle.
If I'm coming around the turn, I want to kind of angle my body, but I also want to angle my hips to match the angle of the turn. I don't want to lean like this. I want to be up, but my hips are angled. And an easy way to know how to do this is to actually, instead of having your arms come straight up and down, allow your right arm to cross a little bit, your midline, so that you're angled this way as you run. So we have that part. And then I like to teach people, we break the turn down into two sections. We have like an uphill portion here, and then we have a downhill portion. So we just worked uphill, we drove, we got up to max speed kind of. And now when we come downhill from 70 to 110, it's exactly what you would picture if you were literally running downhill, where your like legs kind of get this turnover right here, this right turnover. You want to picture like if someone had, we're going to use a little physics. If we had like, this is the center point in a long string, and I wanted to turn that, like if I wanted to take that like a hammer throw around and around, and I was able to take that ball and throw it downhill, we want that effect coming off of the turn. And so we want to get coming downhill where our legs are turning over really fast. We want the turn to do the work for us. So when we come downhill, when you run downhill, the angle of the hill is doing the work for you as far as creating turnover. We want the similar effect on the turn. So coming across, boom, then we kind of get downhill, and now we get back up tall at the 110 here, and we begin to open up a little bit. So we're going to try another acceleration phase. After this, we want to get up tall. We want our foot to hit underneath our hips, like top end speed is supposed to do. And we want a nice, beautiful balance of turnover and stride the length. This is where you're going to try to like eat up the track here. We straighten out our hips. Now we're running straight on, and we're up tall, and the cycling is happening. We're hitting directly underneath our hips, but we're also long strides here. Not awkwardly long, but you want to be nice and open. We're using our arms. So I should have added, when you get to like 150 here, you're going to be tired. This is not a easy thing to do. So you're going to be tired. You really want to focus on, I'm going to emphasize this in each of these videos, on the close is your arms. Your arms are going to be the freshest out of all of your body. So you want to remain open and using our arms to swing powerfully through the finish of the race, because our legs are going to match whatever our arms do. If we're walking, our legs are going to resemble that. If we're jogging, our arms are going to resemble our legs. And if we're sprinting, they're going to do the same. So as you begin to go from 110 towards this 175 mark here, we don't let our arms come up here and lean back. We want our shoulders forward and driving back with our arms. And then when you get towards the 175 to 200 meter finish here, my coach used to tell us to try to beat the drum. So like If you picture a drummer boy, right? You want to remain long, but also don't lose that turnover. Just try to beat the drums, beat the drums, beat the drums, beat the drums all the way through the finish. So a great 200-meter runner is also going to be, at the very least, a decent 100-meter runner and a decent 400-meter runner. This part right here is going to get better as we get better at the 100-meter. This finish here is going to become stronger, and you're going to be able to finish all the way through the line as our 400 gets better. So that's why you need to be able to do all sprint races in order to be a great sprinter. So I'll see you in our next game plan video that's going to help you run the 200-meter faster.